$3,000 a month, because that'll be all my haircut money.
Instead, buy rental properties and make some passive income.
What is the worst financial advice you've ever received?
The way to build wealth is saving your money.
What is financial advice like on YouTube Shorts nowadays? I have no idea. I'm going to go into it raw, give my reactions. I would love to hear your thoughts on it, so leave a comment. And if you like the video, like, comment, and subscribe.
How do you make your first million fast? Where do I invest this $1 that I have? Instead of obsessing about which 401k investment you should go into or which savings account you can use, that's so marginal. That is a great way to feel busy while staying poor. And a good way, I think, to get rich monetarily is to ask better questions and to have better decision making. It's just so much less sexy because it's not linear. You can't say, well, if I make better decisions, I will have a 4% return instead of a 10% return. And I think that's where young people go sideways. They're like, give me the quick, fast, dirty, cheap. And that's really never going to make you much money.
Okay, I get what she's saying, but the vast majority of people are mostly happy having a 9-to-5 job and chipping away at their 401k, the Roth IRA, their investments account. Yeah, it's not sexy. It just takes a lot of time and it's simple to do. It's something you don't have to think about. It's something everyone should do. First of all, whenever you watch a financial thing on YouTube Shorts, ask yourself, is this person selling a course? Are they selling a dream? Of course, they don't want you to put your money into your 401k. Of course, they want you to buy their courses on starting a business and use that money to become rich while completely foregoing that there's a million and one things that could go wrong when starting a business. Looking at simple statistics, 20% of new businesses fail during the first 2 years of being open, 45% during the first 5 years, and 65% during the first 10 years. So you have to have a really good idea. You have to have business knowledge, maybe even a degree in business. You have to know where you're getting yourself into. You have to be really passionate about the business. I see so many of these people on YouTube Shorts, TikTok saying, oh, why are you being a slave to 9-to-5? Go start a business. They're selling the course on how to start a business, of course. And it's not as simple as that, all right? Another thing about this Codie Sanchez person is I've seen a video of hers before. It's titled, I replaced my 9-to-5 income in a weekend to prove it's not luck. Basically what she did is she went door to door in a nice area, knocking on doors, asking them, do they want pressure washing? She went through and she got 3 leads. People agreed to the pressure washing business. She showed herself going to Home Depot to get the pressure washer. And then at the end of the video, she backed out of doing the pressure washing. What she did said, hey, I know people who do pressure washing. I'm going to give them the leads and I'm going to take the money. And look, I'm going to prove to you guys that I'm making so much money doing this. And she didn't even do the pressure washing. She didn't prove anything and she didn't prove it's not luck. She just the whole video was a facade. So my opinion about her is not very good. The last thing I'm going to say about this short is that it literally makes no sense. I don't even know what she's really saying. She's going in circles. It doesn't really make sense what she's saying. Did she even look at this or anyone say, okay, what is she saying? Because it doesn't make any sense. And if you read the comments, people say the same thing. I heard a lot of words, but I left with nothing. Topaz them, tell me something without telling me something. Then Harry burns her. She should have just said work at Goldman, then start a YouTube channel telling followers to get rich by washing windows and starting a laundromat. That's what this Codie Sanchez person does, you know? No integrity whatsoever.
What is the best financial advice you've ever received?
Invest in assets, not liabilities.
What is the worst financial advice you've ever received?
The way to build wealth is saving your money.
So true. Third question. What is something you used to value that you don't anymore?
Material things.
What is something that you think people think is important when it comes to money, but you realize that's not really the right focus?
Net worth. Net worth is a crap indicator of real success.
Okay, he's got some things I agree with. Material things don't matter. But then he's saying that a poor way to get rich is to slowly invest your money. The vast majority of people, it's so simple for them to do that. That is an easy way to build wealth. Yes, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of patience. You got to wait for compounding interest to kick in. Not everybody wants to start a business, and all these financial gurus are all about starting a business, and they're going to sell you the course on how to start that business. That's why they say the worst way to build your wealth is to save money. They want you to start a business. They want you to take on an obscene amount of risk. A lot of us don't have time to do that. A lot of us have a lot of things going on in our lives, okay? Taking care of ourselves, taking care of other people. We have hobbies. We got things to do. Not everybody can start a business or wants to. That's what irks me so much about all these financial people. They're saying like, oh, you got to start a business, you got to start a business. Saving money over a long period of time in investment accounts is a bad way to build wealth. 90% of people can do that and they'll just be fine, all right? They don't want you putting your money in a safe, less risky way to save it. They want you to use your money to buy their courses and then to start a business. And as we know, a lot of businesses fail really quickly. So please keep in mind those things when you see these financial people saying these things. Think about Warren Buffett, one of the richest people in the world. He says, just easily put your money into an investment account. So who are you going to listen to? The person who isn't selling a course, who's one of the richest people in the world, or people who are trying to sell you courses on starting a business who are going to make a profit off of you taking your money and paying them in order to have dreams of wealth?
People know that they should pay down debt. People know that they have to save money, but the elephant in the room always is they just don't have the ability to do it because we're in so much over our head. But until someone hits that rock bottom point, it's very hard to get people to understand what they have to do. Just taking that first step is so daunting for people because it comes back to admitting, yeah, I probably screwed up several times with my finances and I don't want to admit it because nobody wants to admit that they're wrong. I have to do that first before I say, okay, now how do I break everything down?
See, I agree with this guy. A lot of people don't realize how manipulated they are, how they realize having so much credit card debt, having a house, having all of these things and all these expensive stuff doesn't make you happy. And you're only one mistake away from going into bankruptcy. One statistic to help realize this is that fewer than half of Americans, 44%, say they can afford to pay a $1,000 emergency expense from their savings. 60% of Americans, if they have an emergency that costs more than $1,000, they literally do not have the money. You gotta look at your expenses, look at your budget, look at your credit card accounts. Ask yourself, can you afford a $1,000 mistake? Seriously, look at your bank accounts, look at all the debt that you have, look at your credit cards, look at your car payments, and ask yourself, can you afford all of this?
You've got to work on two avenues with money. One is the financial nuts and bolts. That's the competence part. And the second is you also have to work on the psychology, the confidence. You've got to work on both. And that helps you truly develop yourself so you can actually live a rich life.
I agree with this guy. This is the I will teach you to be rich guy. What he's saying is basically you got to be smart about finances, right? You have to understand it. Once you understand it, once you have the education, you have to have the confidence to actually execute on the education that you have. Instead of focusing on what other people have and how you can have the same things, ask yourself, what actually really makes you happy? Having a new BMW, is that really going to make you happy? Let me tell you a story that I used to think that too. I used to think that my car mattered to other people. And what I quickly realized is nobody cares what you're driving, okay? I buy nice cars. I've had a BMW. I drive sporty cars. I had Mazdas and Subaru BRZs. And I realized that nobody really cares. Nobody asks you what your car is. Maybe if someone's going to ride with you in the car, they'll make one single comment. But you buying that car is not going to affect anyone's lives. It's mostly going to affect you. What car are you driving right now? Let me know.
You'll never get rich in your 20s if you keep wasting money on these three things. First is your lifestyle. Most people make it, spend it, make it, spend it, and have nothing to show for it. Second,
I want to make a comment on, oh, you spend it, you get money, you spend it, you get money, you spend it. Everyone wants to enjoy their life, okay? I always hear these things from people where it's like, wait until you're 60, 70, 80, when you have insane medical bills, when you can barely walk, when you have low mobility, you're taking 50 drugs. That's when you can actually enjoy your life. I understand that sentiment. You can also have fun when you're younger. All you have to do, the simple thing is you got to budget. Just budget and don't overspend on your budget. So if you make a budget and based off your budget, you can spend $400 a month very easily while also saving money, while also investing in your 401k, your Roth IRAs. If you can afford $400, go and live your life. Enjoy your time. Go have your coffees as much as you want. Let's not shame and belittle people for wanting to enjoy coffees at coffee shops. Make a budget, right? Make a budget and stick to it, and then you're good. I dislike when these influencers are always shaming people from simple things. Like you go and you play an arcade. He was showing a video of him playing air hockey at an arcade. Like, oh, that's an awful thing. You should feel bad for playing air hockey. No, you shouldn't, okay? Budget your money and have a allotment for fun, time, money, and then use that money however way that you want and don't feel shame about it.
Most people in their 20s aren't married, so they don't need to buy a family home. Instead, buy rental properties and make some passive income.
Oh my goodness, here we go again. Okay, so he starts it off with something that's smart, like don't buy a house really quickly because you're younger, you don't know where you're gonna be, you don't know what's gonna happen in life, and then you take on a mortgage and you're already getting hit with debt. And yes, you do get a house in return, but is that something that you really need right now? But then he adds to it and says, oh, buy rental properties and rent them out. Again, these gurus, they're always like, oh, it's so easy. Just like buy a rental property and rent it out as if it's something that anybody can do. A caveman can do it, right? No, it's not as simple as that, all right? You have to get licenses. You have to understand what you're getting into. You have to maintain the houses. You have to find tenants to rent the house to. You have to get them to pay the rent on time. What if they don't pay the rent on time? What if you have roommates and then they're battling with each other? What if somebody just leaves? What if somebody destroys the house, which eats into your profits? There's 1,001 things that could go wrong, but they simplify. They're like, oh, buy a rental property and oh, you can make so much money from the rental properties. No, I've done the calculations, okay? If you buy one house and you have a mortgage and you're renting it out, you're not gonna make any money from that, or it's gonna take you at least 3, 4, 5 years of making money from that. And that's not even accounting for catastrophic costs. Like what if the water heater goes out, or what if they destroy a wall, or what if you have to repaint the whole house? You have to do that for 4 or 5 years before you can buy another house. And when you have 5, 6, 7, 8 houses, that's when you're actually making a profit. If you have just one house and you're renting it out, you're gonna make like what, 400 profit a month? Last I checked, it's nice pocket money. It's not gonna make you rich, okay? The way that you make money from rental properties is if you have 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 rental properties, then you'll be actually making money. And the second factor is holding on to those houses for 5, 10, 15 years and then selling them after that time, because likely the value of those homes are gonna go up. So again, it's a long game that's filled with thousands of headaches, and it's starting a business. It's not passive income. You should really investigate and research these things before you do them. Don't take it at face value. He's like, oh, instead of buying a house, buy a rental property. Okay, let's stop this shenaniganry. It is not passive income at all.
Most people finance a luxury vehicle with money they don't have to impress people they don't even like. Instead, buy a cheap second-hand car and you'll have the last laugh.
Like I said previously, your car doesn't matter to anybody except you. We all want that fancy vehicle to impress others, or to say to yourself, I deserve a reward. I deserve a car that's really, really nice. At the same time, it does the same thing that less expensive cars do. You can get a very dependable, good quality Honda Civic or Honda Accord or Toyota Camry or Toyota Corolla that's gonna work great for you. Not only is the cost of the vehicle gonna be way more for a luxury vehicle, you also have to factor in maintenance. Whenever you go and get something repaired or something fixed or adjusted, it's gonna cost way more than a regular car. So let me give you an example. I had a Toyota Camry. I changed the tires. It cost $400 for very good tires. I had a BMW 3 Series. I go to change the tires, $900. Toyota Camry, I had to go get the brakes changed. It cost around $350. The BMW cost me $1,200. Same exact brake service, changing the pads and changing the rotors. And don't forget about insurance. Luxury cars are going to have higher insurance rates, and some loans that you get, they're going to require that you have a minimum comprehensive and collision type of insurance. So maybe it's like $500, which is going to drive up your insurance a ton. So cost of the vehicle, the interest is going to be higher, the insurance is going to be higher. Luxury cars usually need premium gas, so you're going to be paying more at the pump. You have to factor in all of those things before you get that luxury vehicle. It is smarter to buy a used car that's 3 to 5 years old, that has already lost 40% of its value, that's going to be dependable. Sure, it's going to have 30, 40, 50,000 miles, but if you get a good one, it's still going to run like new. It's going to have lower insurance rates. You can buy the cheaper gas. It's smarter to buy a used car like that instead of a new luxury vehicle. One other thing that you have to think about realize once you get a luxury vehicle that's new and you're caring about how other people see you, within 3 years, that luxury car, it gets old. That's the game that you have to play when you get into luxury vehicles. You have to get something new every 3 years. That's why a lot of people lease. And I'm not one to demonize leasing. You have to factor in if you should lease or buy. But once you get into that game, you're going to have to lease a new vehicle every 3 years, and your monthly payments are going to stay the same or likely go up over time. Their insurance rates are going to stay up, and you're going to be playing to everyone's fiddle. Nobody cares what you drive, okay? I actually respect the people who have older cars who love those cars a lot more than the person who's getting the latest and greatest Audi car. Look at your numbers, think about things before you do them, and make smart decisions. Check out this comment too. Bro said, just buy rental property like it's an everyday thing. Dog, these boomers kill me. Can't afford a house? Just buy a house.
I stopped playing video games, stopped watching TV. I stopped everything you could think of except learning. I read books. The books I read was for dummies. I say all that to say, take a loan plan. And what you realize is you're going to work every day to beat that time. You're going to get there quicker, but you have to think long every day. Like for instance, my first plan was to put in $100 a week into an investment account. But it said I'll be a millionaire when I'm 65. It was on Acorns. So you know how you can move the bar. So you can say, all right, what about if I put in $200 a week? So I'm like, oh shit. I retired by like 59. What about $300 a week? I was 21 at the time. I'm like, I'll retire by 55. Then I was like, what if I put in $3,000 a month? Because that'll be all my haircut money.
Whoa, hold on a second. $3,000 a month on haircuts? All right, so I was with this guy at the beginning, okay, where it's like, educate yourself, think about the long game, great advice. This is how they all start. It's like some little nugget of truth, the 5% of truth. And then they start saying the BS, okay? $3,000 a month for haircuts, $3,000. Okay, listen, I understand haircuts are getting expensive, but $3,000 a month, all right, you're starting to BS, okay? Oh, if you do three, that's all my haircut. Like, okay, no, don't start lying to us. What is he selling to us? Okay, that's what my brain goes to. What are you trying to sell me right now?
Bingo. All this barber money is going into this investment account, and I'm going to try my hardest to get a 30% a year.
Where is he getting this 30% a year? Again, the BS alarms are going off, right? The average rate that the market grows per year annually is 10%, okay? And very few, if anybody, can actually beat that. If anyone says that they can make you more than 10% a year, red flag right away. You should be very cautious of what they're saying. They're going to tell you some BS, and you should be ready for it. So him already, I'm saying like, no.
People wanted to learn from me. So
there we go. People wanted to learn from me. He's selling a course. I'm telling you.
I started in 2018. I was still in the Army. And hate came with that because you balling in the Army. And now you don't want to do push-ups.
He's relating it to, oh, you don't want to do push-ups. Oh, you don't want to put in the hard work. This is the tactic. They shame you. They make you think that you need their help, that you need to pay them the $500,000 to $20,000. Now it's memberships, by the way. Pay $50 a month to be part of this club and to be part of this Discord or this chat group in order for you to be making money. You don't got to spend any money. All the information is out there on the internet, or you can even buy a book, $10 book that's going to tell you everything that is sensible, that makes sense, that these gurus are not going to tell you, right? These gurus and financial people and these course people, all they're doing is information arbitration, which means they're just moving the information to a different place. They're making it sexy. They're talking to you. They're making you feel a certain way, but it's just the same information that everybody has access to, but they're hiding it behind a course, and that's how they make money. Think about it. If they were millionaires, multi-millionaires, why do they need to be selling courses in the first place? Okay, think about this. This is a giant red flag. And the stuff that he's saying, $3,000 a month for haircuts, it's ridiculous. Shaming you, oh, you're not putting in the work and that's why you're not rich. It's shaming you. Don't fall for these traps.
A restaurant wants you to drink wine. Why? Wine doesn't have a known price anchor, so you can mark it up like a bastard. Okay? You can't charge £30 a glass for a glass of Johnny Walker Red because people know what that costs in the shop. But you can buy a bottle of Chateau d'Obscur for €6 and charge €30 for it. And because it's expensive, everybody will say it tastes of black currants, okay? What the restaurants do is they make you think you're choosing what to drink while actually stuffing you royally. And this is how it happens. You arrive, There are wine glasses already on the table. Secondly, they bring you a drinks menu. It's not called the drinks list, it's called the wine list. And then there's the final touch, which is sheer genius. They only bring one wine list and hand it to one person.
Yeah, man, this guy is dropping hard facts, all right? So first of all, I don't even like wine, but I do know that you can buy a bottle of wine at Trader Joe's for $3, $4, okay? So when I see these wines at these restaurants that are costing $50, $100, $200, $400, $500, $1,000 for a bottle, it's insane to me. They do exactly what he says. They give the wine list to who they think is going to be paying for the meal. Makes you think that the only thing that's available is the wine. And how often do the wait staff ask you, do you want to drink something other than water? Restaurants make their highest amount of profits from drinks because they can charge anything they want. And just like this guy said, there's no standardized wine prices. The other day I was at a restaurant and I saw a Bud Light bottle for $9. $9. And we all know you can get a 6-pack for $9. They're pushing that because they make the most money off of drinks. They buy the bottles for wholesale, maybe it costs them $5, and they're charging you $15 per glass. Personally, I rarely order drinks at restaurants. I'll just have water. Sometimes every now and again, if a drink sounds really cool or interesting, I'll want to try it, but it's super, super rare. And let me tell you a story about my dad and growing up. Whenever we go to restaurants, when we'd sit down at the table, he would immediately say, no drinks, no appetizers. The reason is because usually those are the most expensive things. The appetizers are going to ruin your appetite when you eat. And the drinks are fun, but they're really expensive. We always used to laugh about it when I was younger, but now I know my dad's advice was very smart. You do want to go to a restaurant to experience things, but the prices can shoot up really quickly. So when I go to a restaurant with my girlfriend, a lot of times we'll just order one single meal and share it. That's one way to cut down on the costs at eating at restaurants. Plus, the portion sizes are huge nowadays. You get a meal and it's gigantic. It's too much for one person to eat. So when we split the meal, it's just enough for the two of us. And we rarely order drinks and we rarely get an appetizer. That's how you can keep costs down when you eat out at restaurants. Plus, we only eat out once or twice a week. We don't eat out every single day. So think about it before you order the glass of wine or even the bottle. Let's check out the comments. People say wine is good for your health. Then I remembered that it's a multi-billion-dollar industry and they have lobbyists. Yeah, and that's all I got for you today. If you got any comments, share them below. I want to read what you think about these things. How do you deal with financial stuff? What do you think of the quality of YouTube shorts nowadays? Thanks so much.